This week in school, we learned about Feng Shui, or I should say we started to learn about Feng Shui because we are actually going to be having 3 lectures dedicated to this ancient Chinese pseudoscience. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I first found out that we were going to be doing Feng Shui at Rhodes, I was a tad skeptical. I had no idea how this might actually be able to benefit me in my personal life, and I certainly did not understand how I would be able to apply this to a counseling practice. But after the first lesson, I am really starting to enjoy it, and I'm thinking of it less as a superstition and more as something that I actually want to do. Which I guess that doesn't necessarily mean it's not superstitious, it's just something that I'm willing to buy into now. For those of you who are not 100% sure what Feng Shui is, it is this ancient philosophy based on the idea that human beings must learn to work with the energy that is in nature and all around them, and they must learn to harmonize with that. So basically there is the concept of qi, which is life force energy, and it is in everything all around us as well as in ourselves. And so we must learn to harmonize with the qi in our environment because it's supposed to have very good benefits for our overall health and well-being. We don't want to be pushing up against it. We don't want to have our back to it. We don't want to try to change it or force it in any particular way. The way that our instructor ended up describing it to us was the difference between 2 rivers. So one river is this winding path through a forest, and the other is this straight and narrow. So the one that is winding is going to be a little bit slower and longer and shallower, probably cleaner and clearer. There will also be more plant life closer to the riverbank, probably more wildlife coming to be in the river and near the river. Also, if that river comes up to an obstacle, it will just flow around it and continue to forge its own path around and with the existing nature. The straight river, on the other hand, is fast and accelerating and deeper and murkier and shorter, and there's more erosion all along the riverbank, and there's also probably way more wind because it's created this tunnel atmosphere, which means the entire environment around it is going to be harsher and less hospitable. So there won't be as many plants and animals that come close to the river because it is so wild and flowing. Also, if it comes up to an obstacle, it will just plow right through it and then tear and pull the debris along with it down its path. So we had this big river discussion, and which river do we tend to be more like in our daily lives? And unfortunately, I tend to be like that straight river. I like to plan, I forge ahead, I have a goal, all I focus on is that. I want to get there as quickly as possible. I don't really care about the journey, and I don't do well when I come up against obstacles. I get angry and frustrated, and I'll try to plow right through them, even if that means I have to drag them with me, making the journey that much more dense and murky and cluttered and heavy. Also, when I tend to get to my goal, when I have followed this straight and narrow path, it's not nearly as satisfying because it's just dank and it's been an exhausting trip. The encouragement then that came from the instructor was to try to channel that inner winding, flowy river, understanding that all rivers lead to the ocean. So if you come up against an obstacle, it is okay to just work with it, incorporate it into your journey, and continue to find your path because you will eventually get there when you are ready. And the most frustrating thing about this is that I know that it is better to just flow, and that it has served me really well when I have let go and gone with the flow of my own life. That is the whole reason that I'm actually out in Vancouver, and that I came to Rhodes, and that I'm doing these videos, and that I am pursuing a career that I have wanted since I was in my late teens, but I didn't know how to actually get there until I stopped trying so hard and I just let it unfold naturally. So I know going with the flow is better, and I know that the straight and narrow river is not very satisfying, even if I do get to where I want to be. So I'm not sure why it's so hard, but it comes back to that debate between being and doing, and I am a hardcore doer, and I'm trying really hard to be, and I am getting better at it, but it's still really tough. And this river analogy was one more reminder to try to let go of some of the control that I always try to keep over my life. I always just want to be so productive, but sometimes being productive means not trying so hard to be productive, which sounds crazy, but it's true. It is, of course, still important to have a plan and a goal in mind, but the point is to try to let the path to that goal unwind naturally and change as it needs to, and just trust that you will still get to where you want to be. My initial plan with this video was actually to tell you some more of the specifics of Feng Shui and how to work with the Qi in your environment, but I am already at time and all I've done is talk about rivers, so that will have to wait for another video. So that's all I have for you today for a little lesson with a touch of insight, but tune in next week because I will be telling you all about the power seat, where you want to be in the room and why, and also why my instructor said that he wants to launch a campaign against blue bedding. Seriously. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you next week.